Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a big video. It is a big deal video because for 2 years now, my favorite concealer has been the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation. I've talked about that ad nauseum. Okay, a lot of y'all have gotten it and love it. It's great as a foundation. Clearly, that's what it's marketed for. It's great as a concealer. I am 44 years old. I have 44-year-old under eyes. I take care of them, but aging is aging. I mean, we are all gonna do it. And it's a thin skin. Things tend to crinkle under there that didn't used to crinkle 10 years ago. So finding a concealer that absolutely wears like I want it to wear, meaning I can wear it all day long and it's not gonna cake or crease or crinkle or sink into fine lines, is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. Hence the reason my number one has stayed the same for 2 years. However, I picked up the MAC Studio Radiance 24-Hour Luminous Lift Concealer. And my, how things have changed. I was pretty floored from the first time I wore this. It is $31, so definitely cheaper than the $90 of the Chantecaille. It comes in a whopping 42 shades. MAC never disappoints with their shade range. They have always been one that has had a vast array of shades, and this is no different. It is 0.3 ounces, so obviously it is about a third of the amount of product that you get for the Chantecaille, and that tracks since it's almost exactly a third of the price. The summary of this: dot, swipe, and glow to conceal and reveal a fresh, luminous, lifted look. MAC Studio Radiance 24-Hour Luminous Lift Concealer is a weightless, radiant concealer that provides 24-hour medium buildable coverage with 90% immediate hydration, diminishes the look of dark circles over time by 18%. I have been using this very consistently for the past, let me see, when did I get the first one? Month, exactly a month. I have not noticed any diminishing of my dark circles. Okay, I leave stuff like that to my skincare, and really even my dark circles aren't gonna diminish with skincare. They're genetic. I haven't seen that. However, and I don't think I mentioned this in the demo, it is very hydrating. So that claim is definitely true. I also have not worn it for 24 hours. I don't wear makeup for 24 hours. I don't go to bed without washing my face, and I recommend you do the same. I think what they're doing with that marketing, just like everything else that's marketed as 24-hour wear, is stating that it is long wearing. And I do state how long I wore it in my side-by-side testing at the end of the video. It's ophthalmologist and dermatologist tested, does not clog pores, and claims to be for all skin types. So enough about the details. What y'all wanna know is how it looks on the under eye. So let's jump into the demo. I'm actually going to apply this concealer on top of my bare under eyes. So I have no corrector on, which I typically do. And when I wear this on a day-to-day basis, since I have gotten it, I have been putting it over corrector. But for the sake of review and showing you how much coverage it has, I wanna do it on my bare dark under eyes. I have 2 shades. I originally got NW15, which is described as a light beige with neutral undertone for light skin. And it was a little less neutral than I wanted and a little darker. I kind of wanted something just maybe 1 shade lighter. So I purchased NW11, which is described as very fair beige with rosy undertones for very fair skin. I'm actually gonna be using both of these today. I have found that mixing them works the best for me. I am gonna be purchasing more shades, not only for myself, but my kit. So I'll be able to hopefully find a shade that works all on its own. And when I say that, I'm not meaning these don't work all on its own. NW15 I used just by itself for a few weeks before I purchased NW11. If you are not familiar with MAC shades, they are backwards to what you are probably used to. When you see W, you think warm, meaning golden, yellow undertones. When you see C, you think cool, meaning rosy, neutral undertones. It's backwards. So when you buy something that's in W or anything with a W on it with MAC, you're gonna be getting the more rosy, neutral undertones. Whereas if you buy something with the C, you're getting the more warm, golden, yellow undertones. When I purchase a concealer, I always like to go for something with rosier, pinkier undertones to help kind of brighten and color correct the darkness. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with NW11. We'll show the doe foot. It is a little bit larger, no special like slants or anything. In fact, this is more rounded than most doe foots you probably are used to with concealers. And I basically take this color right in that inner trough area. So first I want to do a little bit of a close-up so you can see the darkness that I'm working with without a corrector. And I'm just gonna start with one eye first so I can do a before and after for you. And then I'm gonna take NW11, and I don't always do this step, putting some on the outer corner and lifting it. But with this particular formula, y'all, it doesn't crease. It doesn't settle. It doesn't matter if I have product on the outside of my eye where I have crow's feet, because it's gonna do everything you want it to do in all the right places. So I can afford to put a little bit more product in that area to get that lifted effect. So that's all I'm gonna use. And once I blend it out with my BK Beauty 109, basically just going back and forth, pressing everything in, the colors are gonna mix. Now the NW11 is much more yellow than I thought it was going to be. Not near as like rosy or neutral, but again, it still works. So this is just with concealer, no corrector, and this is without. To be such a lightweight concealer with an almost gel consistency, this is amazing coverage. And it's obviously even better when you put it over a corrector. So I'm going to match up the other eye, doing the exact same thing with the exact same colors and placement. And then I'm going to set with my normal Pat McGrath under eye setting powder in the shade Light. And then I have my concealer finished. I honestly feel like this video is going to be doing this concealer a disservice by not showing you in real life how amazing it is, but I am gonna finish up my makeup and we're gonna see how it looks with a whole face. And I am going to tell you my final thoughts, which y'all could probably gather by now. Okay, makeup is complete. I didn't really put anything on top because I had already set it with the powder, but I am going to try my best to zoom in a little bit closer to my eyes so that you can see. I mean, honestly, it's perfection. It's perfection. And yesterday I was like, okay, I keep reaching for this concealer. I am going to do one eye with this concealer and one eye with my beloved Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Concealer, which has been my #1 for probably going on 2 years now. And trust me when I say I have gotten quite a few concealers since then, testing it against the Chantecaille, and Chantecaille has consistently stayed in the #1 spot. And y'all, I did another 10 times mirror investigation at the end of the night last night. I had had this concealer on for 12 hours and I could see no difference in my under eyes. And in fact, I wore the MAC on this eye, which has more fine lines and wrinkles than this one, and it still looked the same. There was absolutely no sinking, settling, caking, creasing, no vertical lines right here, because when I make certain expressions, I scrunch up, I guess, in a certain way. And a lot of times my concealers will have vertical lines where it's either worn off or it's kind of sunk into those expression lines throughout the day. I did not have that with the Chantecaille, to be fair, which is why it's always been my #1, but I also did not have that with the MAC. The consistency is so similar in the fact that it is a very lightweight gel consistency. It has worked under a couple of different powders because I have traveled in the time that I've been wearing this. So I took my Ilia powder with me when I traveled. It worked fabulous under that. It works great on top of corrector. It clearly has good coverage without a corrector. I have not yet tried this as like a full face foundation, which is the only thing as of right now that's setting it apart from the Chantecaille, because that's clearly a foundation in and of itself. So you could have that and use it for 2 products. But if you don't have the Chantecaille, but you really wanted to be trying it because I have done nothing but sing its praises, I highly recommend getting this. It is hard for me to say that Chantecaille is completely out of the #1 spot. However, it is 100% tied. And as far as price, this is now the #1 spot in my concealer journey of trying to find the best for my 44-year-old thin, crinkly, drying under eyes. I will also say the claim that it said for all skin types, I do think is true for a couple of reasons. Because our under eyes don't have pores and we don't sweat from that area of our face or really produce oil. If you are someone who is oily, I still think you can use this in the under eye region. And it is most definitely for normal to dry skin because of the hydration properties. I almost let the day get away before I could come in front of some natural light and show you the wear of this concealer, and it's gonna be a little awkward, but see, I got some crinkling going on around here, okay, when I make expressions, and hopefully you're gonna be able to tell. This is after 8 hours of wear. There is no settling, no crinkling, no crackling, no nothing. And for fear of being the most redundant video you have ever watched, I can't say enough good things about this concealer. So if you can't tell, I highly, and when I say highly, I wish I could put it in all caps with 4 exclamation marks after it, recommend this concealer. I don't have a single bad thing to say about it. So I will have it listed at different retailers down below. I do use affiliate links, so thank you if you choose to use those, because I know it's available at lots of different places. So I'll try to find as many as I can, link them down below. Thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.